Let's go to picks and bans. See if Salsa can keep this train going, or does it derail against Noble? Salsa will get first pick again. Will we see the Athena first pick?
I would not be surprised to see an Athena first pick one more time, just because it's been such a standard go-to for Salsa Squadron. I can't see them not picking it up at all. I would rather see them first pick it and kind of go back to what they were doing originally than before. And yeah, that Najah ban, always.
So what was the other ban that they did there instead of the Nemesis? Sorry, instead of the Najah, I can't remember what it was now.
Initially, I believe... on the prior game, it's actually hard to say.
I should remember. My mind's gone blank on it. I know Amaterasu Kabrakan was Noble again. They've not changed anything. Salsa will go with the Athena. Okay. I'm not sure why you're so worried about why they have to draft the Athena every time, though. Like, knowing against Noble, I know it's a comfort thing, but knowing against Noble, Wubbn doesn't play that much of Athena. So.
Well, it's not so much for taking it away from Noble. It's really just that seems to be a go-to selection for Mineral.
I know, but I mean, you don't have to first pick it then, right? You don't have to first pick it. You could just like pick something else, let them pick two, and then lock in Athena in the next, the next round of draft. So that's what I meant. It wasn't like you have to pick it now.
But you're going back to, I think this is kind of just one of those challenger habits, though, where even though other teams can recognize we don't necessarily need to pick this up right away, Salsa Squadron have already kind of played out their cards. They have laid down what they're going to try and roll with, and Noble are probably aware of this, and that Chaac pick, and no surprise whatsoever to me, I wouldn't be surprised to see it be a Chaac jungle.
I'm expecting Chaac jungle, but the thing I'm looking at is like, okay, you've got a very good early game with Ravana and Chaac on the solo side of the map. Your duo lane has done very well so far with having Athena start the duo lane just starting together and pressuring on to Wowy. Thoth in the mid lane for moswal again, and then Kukulkan banned out by Salsa Squadron. Very tanky front line so far, but they need some damage to go with it. Late game damage is what I'm worried about. Like late game damage once again. That's where they're struggling here, and that's why I think you're going to see some differences from Noble's, Salsa Squadron's draft this time around.
Late game damage could be a bit of an issue, but what I'm mostly paying attention to is Noble, they know that Salsa Squadron is going to pick all of their frontliners in their first 3 picks and bans. They've kind of been doing this every single time. Salsa Squadron has been waiting until the 4th and 5th slots before picking up their carries for Sheyka and sops. And it's just that I feel as though Salsa Squadron, because they had so much success yesterday, they might be getting a little bit played by themselves into feeling confident in it just being a foolproof plan.
I'm not too upset by the draft from Salsa Squadron, realistically. Although Thoth has a little bit more, I want to say, mobility for escaping. I think I would have preferred Raijin potentially, but Thoth can at least reach the back line with a lot of these damage dealers and get away from like the Chaac and the Ravana a little bit, at least until they ult after them.
I'm actually not a fan of the Raijin at all for this draft. I can understand the mentality behind it, but against a Thoth, I would not want to play Raijin into that final judgment and the range poke out potential that moswal has.
Fair play, fair play. I can see that one, but at the same time, Raijin, they needed damage, right? They needed consistent damage for these team fights because Athena, Ravana, and Chaac will hold the front line great, but they're not necessarily going to kill 100-0 everybody because everyone's going to be looking to get away. At least you've got some range on Raijin. Honestly,
my favorite part about this entire draft is that Noble opted to ban that Soul. I think Soul would have been an amazing selection there. Sheyka has an incredible Soul at that, and that would have been a completely... I think that might have been a game changer for this one already. At like even level 1, he would have had great clear against moswal, and it just seems as though it would have flowed a little bit better with the rest of the team. And it's actually sops on the Skadi and not the Kerninos.
Okay, so a bit of a mistake there. Apologies for that one, but it will be the Skadi this time around instead of Kern, which either or, it didn't really matter. It's the same sort of position, same sort of style for sops.
I like this more though.
It makes more sense
for their draft.
Definitely, because it just brings that little doggy into play that Wubbn's having to deal with right now. And love the decision to remove the dog straight away, call it back just before Wubbn could actually kill it, so it's still going to be alive. Now, the one thing I was going to say is, the Sheyka, like on the Raijin, you said you didn't really like it. I'd have preferred them picking up the Thoth before they picked up Chaac. Like, they didn't need to pick Chaac there, did they? They could have just, like, if you want to use a ban on Chaac jungle, you go right ahead. That's how I look at it.
Well, it seems as though Salsa Squadron hold that thought, though. moswal actually using his purification beads really early on there. 3 members, a 3-way split of mid-wave.
It wasn't really a split. It was just a gank kill from sops. It was a bit of cheese. A bit of cheesy cheese. Because every single time you've seen Noble go in to get aggressor in their own jungle, this time sops, instead of going for the jungle clear, he's like, you know what? We can just wrap into mid and look for a pick. Getting beads off a Thoth early, it means moswal's on the back foot a little bit.
Well, a lot of players probably aren't going to catch this reference, but that's actually like the Lato special from Rank on that one. with that Skadi level 1 gank. I like the mentality behind it, though. You might as well try and establish the early lead if possible.
Sure. I mean, to be fair, Skadi's got fantastic wave clear anyway. As you can see, Wowy can't really do too much about him. Wowy's not been able to get his own buffs at the moment. Because of that start, he actually ended up just having to fall back and start farming his wave too. But hang on a second. Collapse on the right-hand side from Noble towards the speed. But they're the ones in a bit of pressure too. So 2 different buffs being attacked. Blue buff getting low first of all. It's actually pressure onto Wubbn first of all. But it is, at the end of the day, a Xing Tian who pops a shell early and not really needed.
And with the follow-up sprint to boot, just to make sure that his Guardian would be safe. Whalrus, great map awareness on that one. Just doesn't want Wubbn to be the first casualty right now.
And that was the aggression from Noble that just was answered back quickly by Salsa Squadron. Kisses coming out from Skeeledon onto Mineral, which is going to force the reset of those Harpies. Now moswal turns up, and immediately Salsa go, nope, we can't really take this anymore.
And I believe that blue buff was actually secured by Noble. Skeeledon just had the full commit while everybody else was dancing around the speed buff because every jungler wants to defend their speed.
Oh, Wowy got to go in for a bit of a fight here. Love that play. As soon as the ice comes down, he's like, you know what, I'm going to leap and then jump on your face, knowing you have less control. With the minion wave 2, Ricochet, not today, Wowy, not today. Oracles, though, goes the way of Noble.
Sops cutting it a little close there. You got to be careful about hugging those walls whenever you're against the Hu Yi, especially on Hu Yi being chaos side of the map. Speaking of which, Skeeledon changing things up a little bit.
They don't know Skeely's there. And here we go. Sops is going to pre-beat early, but he didn't recognize there was 2 of them. And Wowy will hesitate and then fire the Ricochet when he lined it up perfectly for a nice, quick kill. First blood to Noble, first blood to Wowy.
Noble, one of the first teams I've seen in a while that broke away from that play nice mentality that so many hunters have had this split.
Well, take into account, it's Serqet and Ho Yi on their team. Like, you want to go aggressive with that comp. Wowy wants to fight you as Ho Yi. Serqet wants to get early kills and early ganks going, and that's exactly what they've managed to do so far.
Speaking of which, Whalrus and Bruh. Whalrus actually with a slight experience lead over Bruh, and what I love about Skeeledon's commitment to that blue buff was stripping that away from a Chaac is devastating to his early game.
Definitely, especially when you actually look at the potions he started with too. All health potions here this time round, so mana is a commodity that Bruh can't really afford to lose too much of. I mean, granted, yeah, your passive is great, but it's only for one ability, and it takes 5 frickin' swings to stack that up.
And that's one of the annoying aspects of Chaac to try and deal with, is that mana control early on. Going to be a little bit more difficult for Bruh, knowing that he doesn't have that sort of sustain that he normally would. And Whalrus just doing everything in his power to take advantage of it.
Well, let's see what happens next. Skeeledon's going to get his own speed buff with the help of moswal. Sops and Wowy. Sops is a level behind, and Wowy knows where he is. And actually going to eat a little bit of poke from the ice, so Sops' wave play goes down for a second or 2, but he's not really too worried just yet. Wowy happy just to farm out for now, knowing he has that kill lead.
Wowy didn't want to even risk sliding towards Sops, because if Sops connects with that first ability, then that just means Caldor dash. He should have a point in his 2 by now, and that dash can do a decent bit of damage early on. 3
members of Salsa Squadron on the right-hand side now as Noble will leave the lane looking towards Fire to maybe try and catch one on the rotation. Skeeledon may be able to find Mineral there in the jungle, and the pressure is onto him as he has to dash away to safety with moswal and Wubbn in tow. Pressure could be onto the blue and speed, but actually no, it's onto Raijin, who's forced to leap back towards mid lane there. On the minimap, you can see all that happen, and now it's a 4v2 on here as Raijin's going to be a little bit more careful too.
Mineral dropped his Defender of Olympus already though, and Bruh just used his silence on 2 members from Noble as well. Sheyka trying to go up into those Taiko drums to defend this speed buff. It still hasn't dropped though.
Oh, he's removed from the map. moswal combining with Noble as the spin to win from Wubbn came through. Wowy solo Sops on the left-hand side of the map. Skeeledon will take down and make sure he picks up at least Wubbn as he goes down too. Bruh gets credit for that kill, but Wowy soloed Sops as this all went on as well. 4-1.
Poor cameraman, it's not over just yet though. Young lad getting punished for sticking around in his own jungle.
In his own side of the jungle. Bruh's still looking for this kill though. Like, he still wants to go for Whalrus, who's low on mana. Maybe just be able to force to reset the fire elementals at least. That's what he's going to have to settle for here. That was really weird. They were all just running from Skeely, and Skeely was like, he used a dash.
He just went in.
You use your ult. You use your beats. And then they cleaned him up after everything was used.
Like I was saying, just poor cameraman, action breaking out on both sides of the map, same time. Just can't be everywhere at once, unfortunately. Would have loved to see that solo kill from Wowy against Sops. I feel as though he probably just got caught up underneath those suns.
Well, maybe at the end of the game we might get a replay for the desk for you guys later on, but 5-1 now with that, and a good 1,000 gold lead in their favor. Sops being 0-2 does not help things, knowing that Wowy is 2-0. I already had his full boots completed before that fight. He didn't even spend any money yet because you can just go back and get further ahead.
Everything about this so far is going straight back in my mind to Skeeledon ganking level 4 against Sops, because so many hunters just would not expect that at competitive right now. It's kind of just been the stalemate meta so long. They just do their own thing. That's just what you expect to happen. Sops felt comfortable in that lane because he's never been ganked there.
730 experience per minute for Wowy as it stands right now, whereas Sops is 530. He's having a whale of a time. Obviously, he's great in the jungle for doing that. Meanwhile, though, Skeeledon's now able to just not worry about Wowy as well. He's like, I did my thing at level 4, and now you are fine. It's going to force Salsa to either just leave Sops to die alone and play super safe, or start putting pressure onto Wowy to slow it down.
Skeeledon basically handed Wowy the lane on a silver platter, and this disparity is insane. I mean, Wowy already having his Devourer gauntlets online 7 minutes into the game after building Ninja Tabi first. It's incredible farm. Noble has done a great job at just letting Wowy take everything from the left-hand side.
Bad news is, well, Salsa Squadron's only got 1 kill, but it's on Chaac, which is one that you don't really care too much about getting the kills. Noble, though, all their kills pretty much are on the carries. Moswal 2, Wowy 2, so that's just going to accelerate the builds just a tiny bit further.
We didn't really point it out either, but Moswal actually had a great Final Judgment ultimate on that speed buff. It actually clipped, I believe, 2 members of Salsa Squadron, and that's why Skeeledon just held W, ran forward, and was able to find some kill secure.
Well, Noble know exactly that the red buff was up for Salsa Squadron, quickly dipping as a 4-man unit to pick that up. Nobody on Salsa really around to do anything about that right now. Sheyka in mid just trying to poke down some of these carries a little bit. Torn onto Skeeledon, going to miss as the Deathbane comes out to safety. Speed buff was looked at there by Noble for an invade, but already secured by Salsa.
A great job by Sheyka there as well, throwing out that Raijin onto Moswal, just making sure that Moswal doesn't try to stay within range of those abilities.
Mineral turns up to catch Wubbn hiding around the corner there. Wowy, though, so confident. What's he doing? Farming back harpies now. He's got so much control on that left-hand side of the map with the wall coverage too. Sops could be in trouble. Sops could be in trouble on the left-hand side. He doesn't know. He's behind you. Suns come down. Beads come out. Forces the ice to come into play too. Wowy going to turn around and hit a nice ricochet. Sops wants to commit, but he's got to be careful of Skeeledon. Skeeledon has that blink. No. In comes yunglad though. Wowy's the one in trouble. Great ult from Skeeledon. Get away from my carry, but Wowy still falls to the taunt from Mineral. Skeeledon is still in trouble as well, but will get away from the time being away from Mineral once more. Now though is pressure onto Wubbn, who came in to help out his team. Drums of war sounded. Mistakes were made. Wowy overextended. Wowy looked for a kill, and Wowy got himself and Wubbn killed just when the gold fury is available.
Skeeledon did so much right there trying to save Wowy's life, but Wowy just got a little bit too caught up, kind of just, it couldn't escape your mind that there's an Athena ultimate still on the map.
Boulder for justice! Oh, he got a double kill! What? Whalrus the legend!
How does that happen? Mark Maloney actually just dropped his ball on top of them.
You can say that once. That's the last time you say that ever again, okay?
Okay.
Like, if that was a boy who said that, that would have been okay. But you know for a fact we're going to see that posted on Reddit straight afterwards, okay?
I can't help myself, Hindu.
I know you can't, but come on. What a great ball, though, coming out from Whalrus. He brought it to the party, and it caused a lot of problems. Salsa Squadron will be so upset. The double tap was the key. Like, I thought he might get 1 kill because the gold fury aggro on 1, but instead... Now they're going to get a goal for free. Come on, bro. It's up to bro to get to this fight now with a Chaac. See if he can do the same sort of thing, but he's being zoned away right now. And Noble will not give him a window to do that. In comes Mineral, though, looking for the turnaround. Sheyka's getting some good dot damage on bro. Jumps in, but bro is too low to get away from the Suns now. He's still running away. Skeeledon goes all in for the kill. Earthbreaker will pick it up. Skeeledon, though, still in trouble, too. As Sops is taken out and hit by the poison as well. He has to fall back. Wubbn on zone duty more than anything else with that ultimate. Gold fury goes down. 8-3. What a crazy little turn of events we just saw.
Something about Serqet being on somebody's head. Speaking of which,
Sheyka,
he's ready to commit though. Wowy just looking to try and outbox him, but that Defender of Olympus doing so much work in providing the protections. He's going to end up taking a spill. Mineral made it over in time, but now he's just ulted into his death.
Goodbye, Mineral. You will be missed. 1 hit from death. Wubbn on the chase. Around the corner comes Moswal. Oh, the slip and slide, but Whalrus will get another kill. sliding into base. 5-10. Gold lead stretches to around 3,000 gold now. But Whalrus possibly just saved Salsa Squadron from getting a lead in this game. Like,
Whalrus saved
did.
Noble incredibly
He
hard
did.
there.
To be fair, Wowy made a mistake. And Noble could have lost a lot from that. Like, they lost 2 kills into a gold period that was free. And Whalrus comes back with a boulder that will go down into the record books for sure.
And that was, it was just a great play by Whalrus. For a second, I was like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you ulting right now? The Gold Fury's not in kill range. And
well,
then,
they were, though.
And that's the thing, is that, like, sometimes you can kind of ignore the player bars. And if you're killing the carries that are trying to secure the objective, there's no one left to try and take it.
We'll see what happens next. Urchin being worked on now by Whalrus, as you can see with the extra gold that he got for himself, with 5 kills to his name now in less than 12 minutes. Yes, a solo laner with 5 kills to his name in less than 12 minutes when his enemy solo laner has only died once and is ahead of him in terms of experience.
Whalrus might have 5 kills to his name, but I do have to agree. It's been a lot of team fighting, not enough farming so far from Noble. They've got to get back to that same grind if they want to try and maintain the lead that they semi-established.
Sops under pressure, has to beat away from the Suns, doesn't recognize Skeeledon coming around the corner, still trying to commit onto Wowy, but Wowy was baiting all long. Sops dies, Skeeledon gets the kill, and once again, nice little play from Noble's duo composition, well, at least one of them.
This mobility from Skeeledon on the Serqet has been a serious issue for Sops. Sops has been looking to make the plays, and I understand that mentality. You want to go in if you're Skadi, pressure your advantage. You have Kaldar to use, but he has not been permitted to be left alone with Wowy. Skeeledon is just all over the place, and I can't say the same for yunglad. We really haven't seen enough out of this Ravana so far.
Well, it's a classic Ravana endeavor, isn't it? These warriors jungles, we keep seeing people go to them, but if they don't get going early, it causes them problems. Pressure onto Noble, who started up the Portal Demon there, will be enough from Salsa Squadron to stop them from doing it and allow everyone to reset for a moment's notice. Is it a Warlock Sash we're going to see coming out from Sheyka here?
It could possibly be the Warlock Sash. I wouldn't want to say it's a second item gem for a Raijin. That seems like a bit of an odd pickup. I mean, I can understand it to a certain extent because of the Raiju and
what's he going for?
Getting some slows down. It's going to be the Warlock Sash. Although 13 minutes, not too late. This game feels later than what it actually is because of all the action that's already unfolded.
I mean, the health is useful. The item itself, it just takes a long time to stack to become worthwhile, but that health will allow him to stay alive longer. Obviously, you take into account, I mean, there's a lot of targets here that are going to do a lot of damage. Serqet, for example, the burst damage out of him from Wowy. The extra health just buys him enough time to get away. And
the other issue, too, is moswal's range. Moswal has such insane range on that Thoth because of the hieroglyphic wall. Speaking of which, Brah is so much damage.
Where's your ultimate now, Brah? You've not got no chance to use it. Deleted. It was a nice combination of abilities, but it sets up Noble for a 4v5 around the Portal Demon. Zone duty for Whalrus, keeping Sheyka at bay. As in goes yunglad, and yunglad will slap the Portal Demon in the face and go, that is mine. Skeely, though, was under pressure. Yunglad was looking to get away. Mimril trying to give chase for the low carries. Can't find the taunt in range. Drums of war out, but immediately Skeely will leap away. On the backside of this fight, though, speed buff is contested, but still secured by Noble. Boulder again from Whalrus. Deletes Sheyka as Sops cleans up Moswal on the back, and everybody else will probably look for a reset. Whalrus, though, he's hunting Sops.
And Wubbn actually picking up that speed buff, thinking he might want to still give chase and recognizing that their hunters are going to be coming back from base.
Up, down, forces the Aegis, and yunglad here to support. In comes Brah too, has his ultimate available. Remember, shout outs to the Portal Demon coming to the rescue from yunglad. Whalrus gets taunted in, but still jukes around long enough to stay alive. Can't find the Earthbreaker. Speed buff is being done at the same time. Fight and rages, a nice silence out from Brah, looking for a pickup of Wubbn. Can't find it as Whalrus gets away. Reinforcements arrive, and immediately everyone runs away.
Noble, that could have been a much more dangerous situation at Salsa Squadron, been a little bit faster with those backs and coming back in. Almost able to take advantage of it, but Sheyka was just not enough damage this early.
Not enough for the time being, but to be fair, Noble, they made a small mistake there again. They gave a small window, and Salsa came in and took it away and got the Portal Demon, so the gap closed for a moment. The kills, different story, obviously, but you can see there's still only 1,000 gold between the two, so it's still anyone's game.
Salsa Squadron still showing that they're willing to fight back despite it would look like a situation that was out of their control Yunglad contesting that Portal Demon actually coming up huge for Salsa, because that gave him a little bit of a chance, or at least a little bit of a window to kind of alleviate some of the map pressure that Noble has established.
Well, right hand side, look at what's going on there. Skadi's going to get a free tier 1 tower as Salsa were too busy trying to set up around the Gold Fury. But Noble, well aware the Gold Fury could be a threat. They have 4 members still here, and one of those is moswal with that Thoth. Round the back goes Yunglad looking for Thoth, though, as Mineral taunts on Whalrus and on Wubbn. Wubbn going to throw the lads of Salsa Squadron into dangerous territory where Wowy gets the kill. Wubbn still under pressure as Yunglad goes in for the kill. Can't find it, though. Wowy forced back 2. Gold Fury has been reset. Noble out with a win so far.
Oof, that was a pretty decent chunk of Yunglad's health off of that ricochet from Wowy, and now Noble establishing the ward vision onto the Gold Fury means that they're just going to try and pull this objective themselves.
Bra showed his face around the corner. Wowy going to commit onto him with Skeeledon too, and the kisses will be enough to slow Bra down. The shell comes out, but that's going to force the ult at Skeeledon at least, and moswal gets credit for the kill. Sops being zoned away by Whalrus. Yunglad, the only one around for this Gold Fury. He got the Portal Demon. Can he do it again? No ult this time round, Yunglad. What have you got for me? In comes the Athena too, blinks in, gets the stun. Reset from Noble, though, forces Gold Fury back, and moswal hits from downtown to make sure that Yunglad falls. Meanwhile, Mineral was forced out of the fight, and Sheyka and Sops running for their lives.
You know what else I just realized, though, is that Thoth is actually the destroyer of Skadi, because he completely shreds through Calder. Whalrus, no fear whatsoever, just backing, mocking Salsa Squadron right in front of them.
Well, with Yunglad being dead now, Gold Fury attempted again by Noble. Sops has no ult this time. No beads either, just the Aegis to his name. Athena coming around from mid, still at half health. Hasn't based here, Mineral, and Skeeledon might see that as a tasty treat. No, cancel that. Tasty treats on the left-hand side. Skeely will go down, though, for trade of the Gold Fury. Not the worst thing in the world there for Noble. They'll be happy with that. I think Skeeledon will be happy that he died if it meant they got a gold for free.
Skeeledon doesn't have his mystical mail online just yet. Not quite tanky enough to handle that Skadi by himself, but still works out perfectly. Noble now trying to defend their T1 tower. Bruh, tanking up a lot so far.
Wubbn taking up the tower shots to allow Sops away, but Sops is looking for damage and now gets himself caught in an awkward spot. Pulled in by Wubbn, but there's no follow-up damage available. Whalrus, meanwhile, beatdowns on the front line, trying to slow them down. Tier 1 in trade of the Gold Furies as it stands for the time being.
moswal had just a little bit longer before his ult was back up off cooldown, and Wowy just not really finding any sort of opportunity to use his sons either, kind of just out of range from that engagement.
This is still relatively even though, Taka, right? I mean, 18, 19 minutes in, compositions relatively even, gold experience, yeah, it's something, but it's not enough, is it?
It's only about 3,000 either way, and that's not enough to kind of be the end-all be-all for Salsa Squadron.
Sure.
Salsa has more than enough opportunity to still fight back into this game. They've been doing it a pretty solid job so far, even in circumstances that look like they're entirely out of their control. They actually have been coming up at least with something.
Well, 2 Gold Furies for Noble, and that's the lead they've got. That shows you how close this game really is. This Portal Demon, though, could be a telling point, because Raijin is attemptable at this point in time with 19 minutes on the board, and this won't take long. You can see the burst damage coming out very quickly. They don't want to mess around, get it down before Salsa can set up a defense, and they'll do just that.
And that's going to be a little moment of relief for Noble, but even worse for Salsa Squadron, knowing that Noble have that portal to use means that they're going to have to be very careful in this mid lane, solo lane side. Actually, Skeeledon and Whalrus in a little bit of trouble now. Bruh actually looking to try and maybe commit. There's a wraparound rotation from Salsa Squadron, but those 3 members aren't going to be there in time.
Yeah, Bruh telegraphed what was going on there because he threw the axe, right? And he knew Skeeledon was there on the Serqet in the jungle. So when he jumps to the axe with the torrent, Skeeledon's like, why would you do that when you know I'm nearby? Hang on, this is a bait because I know you've got reinforcements coming now, because no Chaac would ever do that. And that's the reason, like, there was no potential gank attempts. I mean, even then, it was still Skeeledon on a Serqet who could leap away from danger, but just gave it away a little bit too much.
Skeeledon with this on-Keeley pickup as well has been huge as far as preventing Sheyka from doing whatever it is that he wants to do, or even Mineral with the Athena. If he looks for that dash and taunt, he can't really afford to do so because that immediate silence out.
Well, the natural reaction as well from Mineral is to try and taunt, like straight away, throw reach and taunt if possible. And if you go for that, like, silence will cause so many problems for you if you do a little bit of damage first of all. Sops going to get red buff though, level 16, highest on his team, alongside Wowy. Good job of catching up in fairness to make sure he's equal level with the enemy AD carry at the same time. Those 2 hunters are going to come up big this game, I feel. they're going to be keys to victory.
It's going to come down to Sops' positioning more than anything else. Wowy has a bit more leeway just because of the fact that he's Hu Yi. He has that jump available. But Sops, once that permafrost is down on the ground, it's quite a bit of time before it's back up again. And he didn't offer any cooldown reduction. He went straight damage, not even bothering with the hide of the urchin this time.
So moswal now, is this looking like a Rodder Tahuti next for moswal after his core build? Yeah.
Most likely.
Do you expect the same for Raijin?
For Raijin, probably as well. It could possibly be a Spear of Desolation. Also from Sheyka, it just kind of depends on how he's feeling gold-wise. If it seems a little bit too expensive, he can still find that slight power curve out of the Spear of Desolation, although it won't be to the same extent as a Rodder Tahuti. And with the way the mages tend to build nowadays, Rod seems like a very stable item in that 4th pickup slot.
And the two hunters as well, they've gone for two slightly different builds. Obviously, Sops going for a more penetration build through playing the Skadi, Tower Shredders, a lot of damage dealt with that. But Wowy has got the chins here and the executioner, late executioner because of how well he was doing in lane. He ended up foregoing that for the chins earlier on, but that's very important against the lineup that Salsa Squadron has.
I don't think it was the chins for the fact that he got ahead. It was really just he wanted that early shred potential on Younglad. Well, it's a Ravana, Athena, and a Chaac.
That's
and
true.
if you're going to try and do anything to them, you're going to need a chin size first and foremost.
Wubbn going to get tied into a bit of poke damage there and actually allow the electric to jump towards those oracles for a second. Mid lane, bit of a pressure going on between Skeeledon and Younglad, but neither really too panicked yet. Younglad in a better position now, though, as he won that fight. And Wubbn's in pressure as well. Thunder Crash from Sheyka didn't really do much. The Sun's rained down on Sheyka. Sheyka getting blinked on and engaged on by Skeeledon while this is still going on the backside. Lots of pressure to Sheyka. The shell comes through. Poison Spencer stops. Sops has the Aegis as well and run away. Whalrus now going to give chase too. Pops the sprint to continue this as Bra is now trying to come round and peel for him. Earthbreaker hits Sops. Boulder hits Sops as well, but it's still not enough to bring him down. Mineral on peel duty with Bra too. Sops still going to get away. Bra now pressured, but he'll be okay. Not enough damage out from them, but in comes Younglad.
And Younglad with a great blink in, but Whalrus is just a little bit too tanky that even 3 members from Salsa still can't take him out. He also has that Thorns. He was forced to pop those Thorns, though, which is going to be a relief for Sops and Sheyka, at least for the next minute and a half or so. They're not going to have to be concerned about that, but everything from Whalrus' build is basically physical defense. That Urchin providing him with a little bit of magical protections, but he is really just looking to stand in front of Sops.
Well, Godfrey started by Noble here, and Bra should be the first one on the scene. Sops will join him relatively soon. Bra has no ultimate. No ultimates available at all for Salsa Squadron or Noble in this engagement. Gold Fury getting very low. Nice little taunt comes out of Mineral, and Salsa Squadron will steal the Gold Fury away. Big play for them. Bra will annihilate Wowy, who can't get away from the danger field of that ultimate. Salsa Squadron even things up. Oh my goodness me. Nobody's owned.
And that's just one of the mistakes that Noble cannot afford to make in these sort of circumstances.
With 2017,
if they want to establish and maintain their lead, they cannot be giving up a Gold Fury at 10 HP.
2017, and we still call people out for not zoning. 2017.
It's been happening for what, like 5.5 years now?
Yeah. I don't even know how it's possible. Anyway, now let's going to give Salsa Squadron the swing, and they are still one game away, just like Noble, from securing themselves a spot in the next round. Bra tanking up this tier 2 tower. Sops focused on trying to get that tower down, but a lot of pressure there on to Mineral, who gets pulled in very deep. He's going to fall down, so one tank is already dead. Wubbn eats a lot of damage from Sheyka, though. His Younglad will ult away, but not to live to fight another day. The tower shot will follow him up, and now it's Bra left to fend for himself. The ice will help him out. Oh, so close from the Earthbreaker. Skeely blinks in.
And Skeeledon's able to catch Sheyka with the taunt. That's going to buy Noble enough time to continue the chase. Whalrus not quite convinced to give up just yet, but there's still more objectives on the map. I think that Noble might have their eyes set on that Portal Demon or possibly even the Fire Giant.
Could be a good call for that Portal Demon. I mean, Mineral's dead for 12, Younglad dead for 18. Mineral does have that ultimate on Athena, so Portal Demon would be the safer call here. Come into a Fire Giant knowing that Sops and Bra could be around, which they are, could be a bit of an issue. Whalrus going to go on zone duty a little bit, but it's not a hard zone, as the ice over the wall going to force Wowy back, and now in comes Mineral.
Sops and Bra, though, they don't have, or Bra has his ultimate available, actually. Sops releashing the Portal Demon. Mineral now looking for that taunt in onto Whalrus, but Whalrus just a little bit too
Skeely around
tanky.
the back though. Sops gets kissed and he didn't like that one bit. Shell has to come out and the sprint to get Sops away from the danger. Sun's rain down from Wowy, a little bit too over-aggressive for my liking, and that's an ult that's going to be wasted. Portal Demon still stands.
moswal really just hovering around that back line, trying to find someone to go on. Mineral seeming to be the next target here, and Skeely, he's not going to get away with wrapping around twice. Sops recognize that was happening, and Salsa Squadron just dropped a ward down there instead.
So instead, Noble have to fall back to their own half of the map. Skeely gets his speed. Blue buff should go over to Wubbn, which it does actually. I'm not really surprised to see that, giving cooldown reduction to a Xing 10. We said it in game 2. Very, very useful indeed. I'm trying to work out who the real standout player has been on the side of Noble today, because like I feel Whalrus in this game stepped up. He's made some big impacts, but I don't think enough on his own in this game to carry it, even though, you know, the plays he did were at critical moments.
I think that Skeeledon has done a great job as well in this game. Even though he doesn't have the most kills in the world, he doesn't have a super crazy scoreline like Whalrus with that 7-0-5, but the fact that he's still been a part of 12 kills, and a lot of those deaths that he had only came after the fact.
Whalrus turns up to the Portal Demon and says hello to Mineral, Yunglad, and Bra, soon to be joined by Sops and Sheyka. Whalrus, though, going to drive and strike Bra into trouble, who gets his thorns off early this time, and the ultimate. Boulder this time from Whalrus didn't really do much, as the drums of war are going to force Wowy to use his beats and his Aegis, and Yunglad will commit with Mineral to pick up the kill. Wowy is now dead, Wubbn running for his life. Whalrus now dashing away too. Athena was not even needed to pick up Wubbn, as he falls down too. Two members get the kill, but in comes Skeeledon.
Everything right now is on Skeeledon, trying to pick up at least
the
one
poison!
member. It's going to be enough. He's going to be able to take out Sops. That commit by Skeeledon was worth it. Whalrus, though, is still trying to keep the engage.
He's fine.
Tanky enough that it doesn't matter.
Tell you what, you just called out Skeeledon, Taco, for playing well, and that was an important play, because if Skeely doesn't kill Sops there, that's a fire giant. That is 100% a fire giant. Sops not being available slows them down, because look at it. It takes so long for them to do this.
And Wubbn actually going to be respawning pretty shortly here. Salsa Squadron should still be able to secure this Portal Demon, though. Yeah, it's the smart choice by Noble, just electing to back off. Whalrus and moswal just really couldn't do anything there. Didn't want to risk dying. More importantly, moswal can't die there, because then, without a doubt, Sops or not, Salsa Squadron are going to take that fire giant.
And credit to Sops as well. I like how he ran with the poison away from his team, because he was going to die anyway. If the poison spreads there, that fight could have gone in Noble's favor too, because the poison would have hit multiple members of Salsa Squadron. It wouldn't like have killed anyone, but it would have lowered them to the point of
moswal killing everybody.
That's
that's the concern, and having so much range on that Thoth because of that hieroglyphic wall is just really dangerous to deal with, especially when you can't see which direction it might be coming from.
Wubbn going to get taunted by Mineral there, and round the corner comes Yunglad, as Wowy showed his face there too. Sops going to return over to the dual lane and just push this one out a little bit. It feels like he's had enough of these little skirmishes around there. He's still only level, he's still only level 19, but he is level 19, the highest with the game, tied with Bra as this one stands. Let's have a look at the graphs, because you'll see a big swing in these graphs between, you know, the early game and the late game, Gold Fury, and the experience between the two teams.
And Sops actually elected to build that Hide of the Urchin pretty late.
But look at those graphs, Tackle, how this game has gone so far. Wait a second, Sheyka has the beads, and just in time, jumps away to safety. Taunt onto Skeeledon. Skeeledon has to dash back towards mid lane after the beads use. Yunglad's going to go in, but he can't find Skeeledon in time. That was the prime target. Yunglad now pulled into the danger field of moswal. Sun's wrapped down. Earthbreaker from Whalrus is good. Yunglad is dead. The ult from Bra will not save him. Sheyka and Sops, meanwhile, are looking for a cheeky Gold Fury. They've got to be careful that their teammates don't all die. Whalrus realizes it, but this time the boulder won't be in time to rescue him.
Whalrus does not care about Skadi's dog chasing after him, though. He's going to have to try and avoid that slow, although I don't think that it'll be able to work out this time. Noble just a little bit too late in responding to that Gold Fury. Great call there by Salsa Squadron to just commit to it.
Well, Morris is just keeping him busy, because I think Noble go for a cheeky fire giant. This is the right play. Wubbn on zone duty too. Bra knows what's up, and I think the attention on Whalrus will subside soon. Sheyka swinging around near the speed buff, and Noble looking to potentially reset. Bra dashes in, but he's not in a great position to do so. Wowy preemptively beads the taunt there. Don't think that was the best use of the beads realistically, but Bra is the one into pressure. Thorns will slow them down for a moment, but kisses from Skeeledon changes that around.
Wowy, though, he's already so low because of how many times he kept trying to attack Bro while those thorns were popped, and it's going to take him down 20%. He'll be able to heal off of that speed buff, but not to the extent that Noble feels comfortable to re-engage on that Fire Giant.
No, not for the time being. But Wowy is alive, as is the whole of Noble. 5v4 without one of the frontliners. Puts a bit of pressure on. Noble, though, can get a free tier 1 on the right, first of all, which I think is the right option here.
And Skeeledon one more time, just kind of prodding around the jungle of Salsa Squadron, seeing if he can get anything for it. It's going to be able to find that blue buff, and not sure if he's going to pick it up himself or wait and see if one of his teammates decides to take it instead. And either way, actually, did he not fully commit to that blue buff? Doesn't matter.
Mineral, but Mineral gets pressured out straight away with a stun from moswal. The ultimate primed and it will fire, but it's not enough to kill Mineral. Sops though deletes Skeeledon. Mineral finally goes down. The boulder was used to try and secure the kill on Mineral that wasn't needed. 1 for 1. Jungler for support.
Everybody was looking at the Athena, and they kind of forgot that Skeeledon went forward and just tried to find Sheyka while he was about to pop his ultimate.
Nice little play from Noble here to swing to the tier 1 tower in mid lane. All the focus from Salsa was towards the Fire Giant, which means they get to chip away a little bit more, but Salsa gets back to defend for the time being. Obviously, with both these people being dead, the game will slow again for a second. This is going to go on for a while, Taco.
It's just been a lot of stop and go, stop and go. It almost feels like Noble and Salsa Squadron both know exactly what's on the line here. And as soon as one member dies from either side, they're ready to just cease and desist.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Salsa looking for the tier 1 on the right themselves. They've got a bit of a window here. Whalrus recalling back to base means this is definitely going to go for free. Wowy won't be coming here on his own to defend, even with Wubbn in tow. So 500 gold answered back for the time being, and we're at an absolute even game realistically here. The gold isn't that important right now. Yeah, 1 or 2 items still to be finished off here. Is that going to be a Blood Forge for Sops, I think? It must be, right?
It's got to be the Blood Forge. There's no way he's building that 6-slot Devourer's Gauntlet. Sops is not that fried, and it is the Blood Forge indeed. And I love this pickup, especially for Skadi. If he is able to find that kill, whether it's with Kaldar or his own abilities, it's still going to give him that great Blood Shield, and that is perfect, plus the additional movement speed.
Portal Demon is about to spawn. Skeeledon in the mid lane, facing off against Sheyka for the time being. Earthbreaker thrown out by Whalrus there, looking for a cheeky pluck. Not going to find it. Keep an eye on Mineral. He's one of the engages, but if he keeps getting chipped up by moswal, who's putting up a lot of player damage this game, moswal is just sneakily just sat here, 3-1 and 13, firing shots at the back, and no one's really been able to get to him.
And that's the best part about having such long range on this Thoth. Speaking of which, Whalrus actually in a little bit of danger here now. This is the most damage he's taken all game.
Whalrus is dead. Yunglad will get hold of the kill and go straight on towards moswal. BT used and Aegis is used too. Moswell's still in trouble. Yunglad going to put the pressure on some more. The shell will not save moswal. Caster's curse. The Thoth has fallen. And Skeeledon is a couple of hits from death too. The drums of war will not connect from Sheyka as he looks to steal away the speed. Denied by Wowy.
But still, Salsa Squadron were able to take out 2 members, and 2 of the most impactful members from Noble in this game. moswal and Whalrus have been doing a lot of work. Wubbn trying to buy his team some time. Shell going to come out from Salsa Squadron now. Fire Giant still being leashed by Sops.
Okay, still going to take some time, so there's still a chance for them to steal it away, but I don't think they can really get through the gap. Wowy and Wubbn on the way. Fire Giant will go the way of Salsa Squadron. They're looking pretty solid. It comes Skeeledon though, round the corner. Is he going to find the kiss he's after?
Oh, no.
Uses the bead and has to dash away back to safety. Portal Demon to Salsa Squadron 2.
This could be the beginning of the end for Noble. Still a little bit too early to call it. Noble has a chance to try and slow down the siege of Salsa Squadron.
Well, I mean, we saw this game 1. What you do, and we saw it in game 2 as well. Take the towers, get the lead, take the Gold Fury, get the second Fire Giant. That's the play.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Noble try and defend a T2 here. I think that they actually have a composition
not the left
that
one,
would no, not the left one.
I
That
mean,
one, you don't care about a tower with less than 10% of its health. It's the mid and right hand T2s that I think Noble has a solid opportunity to defend. Their draft is great when grouped up. That last engagement, they were not grouped up. They were spread out.
Yep.
Whalrus had overextended just a little bit.
Yep.
He wasn't able to proc that heal off of his third ability, and whenever Herc doesn't get his heal pop, I mean, he just goes down.
3 Gold Furies for Salsa Squadron, 2 for Noble so far in this game, and just 1 Fire Giant in the way of Salsa as well. They're not pressuring though. Salsa just seem to be sat off the gas for a second here. Is it just to try and get some farm or something, or like take a breather? It feels like they're taking a breather, like, okay, we're in control again. We're in decent control of this game. let's not make a mistake.
Not enough yet, though. It's still from the fryer straight into the frying pan, from the fire straight to the frying pan.
Sure.
It's just really uncomfortable, and there's still so much tension surrounding these two teams.
Only 3 members of Salsa Squadron on this left-hand side. You can see that in mid lane it was Sops, and right-hand side, Yunglad. But that's Sops on his own. I was just saying they're a bit split here, and it's Sops who's dead. Knocked up in the air, pulled under the tower. Have an Athena, my friend. It's not going to save you now. Boulder will double tap onto Mineral as Wubbn zones away the rest of the team. Fantastic pick, and Bra is now surrounded too.
But he was able to avoid that pullback from Whalrus. Skeeledon, though, not ready to give up just yet. Looking for the taunt onto Bra. He will connect, but look at Sheyka doing a great job peeling for his team.
Yeah, it's great, but you had a fire giant there. You split your team, and Sops gets picked for free. And it's Noble on the offensive now because they know they've got a 4v5 in the late game.
But there's still a T1 tower in their way. Salsa Squadron still have an opportunity to put out a little bit of poke now onto Noble. Noble, though, it's late game. They really don't care.
Wobbin's taking a lot more damage than he bargained for. Earthbreaker onto Bra, not really the prime target. The Ricochet did not connect onto Bra. Otherwise, there could have been more investment into Chaac. So, Noble happy. They'll fall back after taking a tier 1 just to square things up in the mid lane a little bit.
It's basically even one more time. Even though Salsa Squadron were able to get the Gold Fury, the Fire Giant, they only found 1 T2.
Pressure in mid lane, though, from Noble. Still running people down for a second. You saw how low Yunglad was getting. Wubbn still committing a little bit too deep as a Ricochet comes out from Wowy. Speed buff was stolen away by Yunglad on the right, I believe. Or was it actually secured by Skadi? I don't think it was. No.
It was not.
Bra got it.
It was Bra who managed to secure it. And now, Salsa Squadron, actually, their Hunter has respawned. Sops is starting to make his way up the mid lane. They were looking to aggress just a little bit onto that tower, but they remember they don't really have the damage for it.
Whalrus comes back to the fray to soak up as much as he can. Skadi jumps in and gets a kiss up onto 2. Has to disappear. Straight back to defense once more. Mineral, no ultimate, sorry, no taunt this time round. And now Sops is back in the fray. Sun's come down straight away from Wowy to defend.
Oh, but look at that stun onto Yunglad underneath the tower. He's going to go down. Mineral actually in the backside getting completely decimated by the rest of Noble. Bruh, popping those thorns, trying to buy his team some time. But the T2 tower still stands.
37 minutes in, and 2 members with the Fire Giant Salsa Squadron have now been killed.
There is just so much aggression from Noble. It's really just been Noble being so aggressive the entire time. Right as you think that Salsa is about to kind of pressure the advantage, they just start pulling back. And they need a gas pedal. They can't stop. You don't hit the brakes after you get FG.
I think both teams are a little bit scared of losing. Somebody comes across as a little bit now. They're both so scared of losing this game that they're playing a little bit safer. I mean, obviously, Noble doing a very good job on defense. I think Skeeledon is the prime component of that so far. Quick pause, by the way. Here, if you've not noticed, it says it there.
just a little bit of a break. I mean, I can't blame Salsa Squadron too much for kind of pulling back, but they really do need to just try and push forward. They just have not been able to secure this middle T2. I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe even try and wrap around to the right-hand T2. Just, that one seems a little bit cursed.
That was a weird decision, though, because they were aggressing at that tier 2 before Sops even arrived. You know, Sops wasn't even with them yet. He was at the tier 2 of his own tower when the fight started happening.
Trying to pull team actives was probably the mentality there.
Yeah.
Salsa Squadron wanting to just see if they could get anything out of Noble prior to their Hunter arriving, because anything they pull from Noble now is just going to buy Sops a little bit extra time to survive. It's so difficult for Sops to try and get away from this Serqet more than anybody else.
Well, it's called the Gauntlet for a reason, and Salsa Squadron have defeated 2 teams so far, both SPL caliber teams from the fall split, and now they're up against Noble, and they've taken them to a game 3, 40 minutes in. They are the ones technically in control of this game with how it's gone, but Noble is still battling back.
And Whalrus already getting the Earthbreaker out, but it's going to be Sheyka trying to go into those Taiko drums. Great stuns.
The poison is spreading. I believe Sheyka's got it on him too. Wowy just hit Sops so hard. It wasn't Wowy, sorry, it was moswal that hit him so hard that's going to force Sops out of the fight. So 1 for 0, but Noble don't win the fight. Neither does Salsa Squadron.
As soon as those suns came crashing down, everybody just broke off from the other. Noble was able to safely retreat into their own jungle, and Salsa Squadron, because of how low Sops was, they wanted nothing more to do with that fight.
So only Mineral is dead. He has his ultimate available, though, when he respawns. Just keep an eye on that little timer in the left-hand side. Around the corner comes Skeeledon yet again. He'll be looking for someone like Sheyka if he can. But in the end, Salsa will fall back again. Stalemate once again for a moment.
For a moment, but Noble might be looking to change that up pretty soon here. Their entire team is relatively healthy. Wubbn, the most poked out member, and he's the support, so he doesn't really care. moswal and Wowy should be able to shred this portal demon in no time.
Oh, Sops could be in trouble from Skeeledon around the corner. Is that right? Yeah, I just saw it then come out, but in the end, it was the permafrost that caused problems for Skeeledon has to ambush back to safety. Bruh has 4 or 5 grouped up, used the thorns defensively there to try and peel himself back to safety. All Salsa are trying to do is wait for Sheyka to turn back up, and Skeely goes back in, gets a shell to get him away from the danger for the time being, but Sheyka's still committing. The drums come out. Skeely's still alive. In goes Mineral, gets the taunt. No, the miss from Younglad means he has to use the overhead kick, and now is pressure for Younglad too.
Oh, look at that final judgment straight through the backside. Whalrus able to take out Sheyka last minute on that boulder.
Wubbn into the Suns, and the Suns will rain down for Noble. Double kill for Wowy, and there's only 2 members alive of Salsa Squadron for the next 60 seconds.
There's no way they can defend this. This is just looking to be another forfeited objective, but this time it's in favor of Noble.
Well, this will be a portal demon, but the good news is they've not got the fire giant, and I guess I understand Noble taking it slow here, go back and heal, use the portal demon to their savior of coming back with full health once again. In comes Younglad though. Younglad causing some problems. Younglad was looking to commit, and in the end he got forced straight back out, but he delays.
That's what I loved about that play, is Younglad was just buying some time. He didn't care about stopping anybody else's back there except for moswal's. moswal not being able to back just yet is going to mean that's another 5 to 10 seconds of those death timers ticking away.
Only Slops here to defend for a moment now. 3 members on the Fire Giant. Make that 4 with moswal now turning up. Not a whole lot Slops can do. He's going to look for a permafrost over the wall, but in comes Wubbn, looking for the zone. Wubbn hasn't chose the right route, however. Slops got to look for the steal. Can he find it with the permafrost? No! Just a little bit too late. Unable to steal it away, but I like the idea from Slops. Played it safe, gets back to safety. Noble, Fire Giant.
Considering that he didn't really have solid vision on that objective, that was a very great estimation as far as trying to steal it. Would have been huge if Sops had actually managed to come away with that one, but unfortunately, that attempt will go without any benefit.
And they're going to take the Gold Fury as well, and the Oracles alongside it. Not that important to get gold right now. Pretty much everyone is full build, and when I say everyone, supports as well. So you know how it's going this game.
That's just for your 3K pots, your Sentry Wards, your 400 power pots. That's all that Noble are looking for out of that Gold Fury. And sure enough, I mean, they just had 4 sentries, and now only 2 remain. Wowy even with a Ward Chalice this late into the game.
What a great set this has been. Whoever wins this set has been a fantastic one to watch. The scary thing is, it doesn't mean they're through to Super Regionals yet, because there's still one more team waiting in the Gauntlet for the winner of this one.
If I'm vigilant, though, I am concerned looking at these 2 teams because they are both going to be super warmed up.
Well, everyone was saying it's vigilant that could be the winners of it. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are likely to come out of the bracket, but I don't know. Like you said, super warmed up on the day. Noble and Salsa Squadron definitely are now.
And Salsa Squadron and Noble have both been giving it to each other. This has been so back and forth between these 2 teams, doing a great job trying to capitalize on the other's mistakes.
So 5 members with the Fire Giant for another 2.5 minutes. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Skeeledon going to try and split push and keep the pressure there too. Looking for the tier 2 tower at the same time. It's going to force Sops to rotate towards the mid lane. And as soon as Sops' face gets shown there, you may see some aggression. Skeeledon trying to flank around the back, but there is a ward there to cause some problems and make sure he doesn't get there for free. They might try and wrap onto Skeeledon now, who's going to sentry D-ward for himself. Whalrus eats a lot more damage than he wants to. His heal's already down. Skeeledon blinks in. He finds Sheyka, which will force the beads out from Sheyka. Meanwhile, Bro on the front line has been left alone. The Thorns came out and the ultimate too. Skeeledon was pressuring onto Younglad, who did a good job of zoning. Good defense from Salsa for the time being.
But Noble, they've got that Fire Giant regen, and they managed to get what they were looking for, was the T2 tower. Salsa Squadron also used quite a lot there. When you think about it, Mineral not having that Defender of Olympus means that he won't be able to help mitigate the damage and provide those protections to preferably Sheyka or Sops.
Well, ultimate still available for moswal here, and the tier 2 tower now being looked at by Noble in the mid lane. Younglad is swinging over to the left-hand side to try and cause some issues and just swing in here to look for a pick if he can find it. He has his ultimate available, as does Sheyka and Sops. So this is a good option for Salsa Squadron. Ski's had enough of staring at Younglad, though, so he's got to slap him in the face and let him know, if you're going to hang around there, I will poke you down.
The non-stop flanks, though, from Skeeledon have just kept Salsa Squadron on the tip of their toes. They can't afford to relax even in the slightest bit. If somebody's not playing zone patrol, Skeeledon's making that backside rotation every time.
That's the benefit of an assassin, right? The assassin can always go in and look for a target and then eliminate him from play. Warriors, I mean, to an extent, Raven can do that sort of thing, but not at the same rate or power that you can see out of an assassin. So in the end, Noble will take all the tier 2 towers, and there's only 40 seconds left on their fire giants, so they're going to head back to base, take the speed on the way. We're still going, Taco. We're still going.
And this is the terrifying part for both of these teams, is that when the game starts trailing this late, those death timers start reaching a minute and a half. 3 deaths could even mean the end of a game.
Really could. Really, really could. Well, 2 deaths even. Could
2 deaths even, especially with Noble's composition.
Yeah, I mean, if both carries die on either team, that could cause them a lot of problems. I'm trying to bring it down. Now, right now, though, Noble do have the fight to do. Even if they lose the next fight, I don't think they could lose the game because they've got a couple of towers still standing. As long as they don't lose the whole team, they will still be able to hold the base. Salsa, though, they've got to be more careful now because all the Phoenixes are exposed. So it's going to be a tricky one as this Portal Demon spawns. Is the Portal Demon important here, Taco?
Portal Demon is important for positioning because Portal Demon means that whoever gets it can immediately back and they can just bait out unfair advantages, because even though it looks like you might have the lead and you want to go for that chase all-in commit, then you suddenly have 1, 2, 3 members coming in right behind you, and that collapse can really catch teams off guard.
Keep an eye on the wards in your bottom of the map there. You can just see the consumable tabs. There's not many wards for Salsa Squadron here. That's a bit of an issue. There's a lot of wards for Noble to be able to de-ward if they need to. Paul Demon started up, taunt onto Whalrus, and already used the Thorns and his heal, so he'll heal that back to full health once more. Salsa, reset for a second, keeping on Skidi around the left, being kept in check by Younglad. Younglad uses the overhead kick there just to poke out Skidi for a second. Whalrus will look forward and catch hold of Sops. The driving strike didn't hit him, though the boulder didn't either. Whalrus didn't make much happen from that, and instead eats a lot more damage in response. Mineral gonna taunt onto Skeeledon. Skeeledon eats a bit of damage, but will get away for now. Salsa Squadron pull the Portal Demon.
But Salsa Squadron are actually a little bit more poked out than Noble right now. Bruh trying to zone away all the members of Noble with that Chaac ultimate. Portal Demon only about 50% HP. Wubbn's ready to go in.
Kisses onto Sops, and Sops is going to get hit by the ultimate. The whirlwind of rage and steel comes out from Wubbn into the Suns, and Skeely's still looking to chase them down. Sheyka's Aegis is now on cooldown. He's trying to get away, but he won't be able to. Whalrus, credit for the kill.
And look at Yunglad on the backside. Wowy actually going to be able to find him, knocking him up just for good measure. Mantle of Discord proc going to save his life, but only for a second. And now, no, it's only Sheyka and Younglad who have fallen, but the rest of them are coming back to the portal. Why are you there?
They all went in to try and defend, and Sops is now going to get the Athena ultimate, but still surrounded. Skeeledon going to get the kiss off. Whalrus with the driving strike and the baseball bat to the back of the head.
Why?
And that is Noble moving on in the Gauntlet.
You know that there are 5 members from Noble there. Why would you walk through the portal as 3?
Well, they didn't have ward coverage, which I saw earlier on. The no wards, they could be on Fire Giant. You run through the portal, you try and secure the Fire Giant, last-ditch attempt. If they get the fire there, you're losing Phoenixes and probably the game. Instead, you dash through, you find out it's not even being done, and Noble just cleaned up the pieces. Congratulations to Noble. They will advance to the next round. Commiserations to Salsa Squadron, who, let's be honest, fantastic run for the boys from the Challenger Circuit.
It was a great run by Salsa. I can't help but feel like they cut it short themselves. I think that match would have actually been even more of a toss-up had they not chosen to run back through that Portal Demon.
Rough game. Have a look at the brackets. You'll see Noble now advance to the next round. They win 2-1 over Salsa Squadron to face Team Vigilant. Allegiance and Cryptic eliminated yesterday, and that's the final game we've got you for today. Vigilant Noble. Who's your money on that one now?
Final boss, General Payne against Mark Maloney and crew. And I think that I'm just going to have to hand it to Noble for this one.
Noble?
Noble.
We'll find out after the break. After that, Vigilant versus Noble.
No words to say. Time flies by on my mind. I'm cutting down the wires. Feeling kinda tired. I think I lost myself. I think I lost it all. wires. I'm feeling kinda tired. I think I lost myself. I think I lost it all. You know I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. Lost my way, no words to say. Time flies by on my mind. I'm cutting down the wires. Feeling kinda tired. I think I lost myself. I think I lost myself. I think I lost it